Caring is a waste of your time. Caring is a waste of your time is the title for today's video. Okay, so for today's video, first of all, if you hear me, let me know in the chat. I want to make sure I get my sound check in. Okay, so let me know, like the video. But again, caring is a waste of your time. And that's the theme for today's video. It's more than just detaching to get your manifestation. So most people understand that it's important to detach for your manifestation, right? But there's still this belief that caring is somehow important in certain ways and in certain places. But in reality, it's not, okay? So if you found yourself caring about outcomes or caring about other people's opinions, or if you're worried about the problems in the world at large, I'm going to show you today and prove to you today that none of that needs to be happening, okay? Which is a good thing because caring causes a lot of stress and anxiety, and it's not a very comfortable place to be in. Okay, so as you guys are coming in, again, let me know if you can hear me, like the video. If you've got any questions about manifesting today, go ahead and throw them into the chat because I'll do my best to answer those as we're going along. Okay, real quick here, I do see a super sticker. Thank you so much, Abundant Queen. Appreciate you. Nice to see you. Hello, everybody in the chat so far. I see Luis is here. Sylvia's here. J. Cole 82 is here. Rainbow Traveling Yogi. Dominique, Alexia. My lovely assistant Mary is here. Apple Castaneda is here. ASMR Tingled Pink. Island Joy. JKO. Lots of people signing in. Nice to see you. But yeah, again, today we're talking about caring is a waste of your time. Okay? Again, a lot of people understand that you need to detach and let go to get your manifestation. But there's still this belief that I should care about some things. But in reality, best for you not to care about anything. And once this is a mindset that is adopted, life gets a lot easier. Things start to work out for you in all different areas. And that sense of anxiety that most people feel day to day goes away. Okay, so I remember before I understood this concept, I cared about a lot of things. I worried about a lot of stuff. And there was always kind of this sense of stress. How are things going to go? Are things going to turn out the way I want? Are they going to call on time? And there was always something kind of stressing me under the surface. But really understanding this has taken that out of the picture. And so that's something I want for all of you as well, because it's completely unnecessary. It doesn't do any good, isn't going to solve any of your problems. And today I'm going to show you how. Okay. So let's start with, I'm not just going to talk about manifestation, okay, because I want to prove to you that it's a waste of your time. Okay. So we're going to talk about caring in a variety of contexts, including intentional manifestation. The first one is not really an intentional manifestation point, but it is something that a lot of people have a hang up about. And I want to show you why it's not useful, okay? Most of you already know that it's not helpful to care about other people's opinions. But that being said, a lot of people do. So does it ever get under your skin if someone has something negative to say about you? Or if somebody criticizes your work? Or criticizes your appearance? Or maybe they don't like you? If any of those things are kind of bothering you, first of all, very normal, happens to most people, but caring about it is a waste of time and actually creates in your reality more criticism, more issues, more people not liking you. It's a very interesting dynamic. Now, I wanted to put this one first because this is one that I had to work through as I started doing the work that I do now. Okay, so I have a YouTube channel. I also have a presence on Facebook and Instagram. And so when you have a profession like this, you get lots of comments. You get lots of people have things to say. You really put yourself out there, right? And so any of you, and if any of you have a platform, let me know in the comments if you've experienced this. But when you're speaking to people and you're putting your name and your face out there, very common, obviously, to see trolls or to see people criticizing. And so it's a much bigger amount of judgment than you would get in just your day-to-day life because you're reaching a lot more people. And so this is something I see lots of influencers in particular struggling with, and maybe you've seen it too. So have you ever seen an influencer or a YouTuber or an Instagrammer or a Facebooker who's dealing with trolls and you can tell they're getting stressed about it? Okay, so maybe they're getting upset or they're making posts talking about how they're being bullied. Maybe it even goes so far to the point where they have to take their channel down or they have to take a break. Now, the reason why this is that when you care, you actively provide resistance against wanted outcomes. Okay, so when we are dealing with people, whether it's as an influencer or just in your day-to-day interactions with other people, there are always wanted outcomes that you want. You want to get along. You want that person to like you. You want them to be polite. You want them to see you in a positive light. Those are the desires that you have. But the second you start caring means I'm worried. Caring means I'm stressed. Caring means I need them to be nice to me. I need them to share nice opinions. And so caring is resistance. So when you walk into a social interaction, or you press live on a video, or you put out a post on Facebook, whenever you do that, if you have a need to be validated, if you have a need to be liked, if you have a need for people to like you, you will attract more people who are critical, rude, and unkind. That's what happens. And so you'll see this. And so this is something I know for myself because early on, I would get kind of worked up. If somebody posted something not so nice, I would get kind of worked up. And then what would happen? Somebody else would post something not so nice. And somebody else would post something not so nice. And then I had this snowball effect going. So this is something I actually noticed, manifestation-wise. And so it's an important thing to understand. Whether you have a presence or just in your personal life, the minute you start worrying about other people's opinions, their opinions about you deteriorate. That's what happens. So not caring what people think is actually the recipe to get people to like you. That's the interesting thing. Not caring what people think, not caring about their opinions is actually what is required to get people to like you. And if you think about it, if you think about the people you like the most, or the people that have the most popularity, or the people that have the biggest audiences, if you look at these people, by and large, they kind of have this don't care attitude. They just say what they want. They don't care what you think. They just let it kind of roll off their tongue. Your opinion about it doesn't matter. That's what's important to understand. So as we're talking about caring, what I'm trying to do in today's video is to show you that unilaterally, across the board, across the universe, caring is a waste of time. This is one example, just one, but I have more. Caring about other people's opinions is a waste of time is our first one. Now, of course, if you guys have questions about manifestation, feel free to go ahead and drop them in the chat. If you haven't yet, like the video. That always helps. I appreciate it when you do. Banji on Instagram says, and yes, it happened to me. I posted my journey of making it pro at a late age while sharing my music as well. I would get good comments, but then I ended up focusing on the trolls and caring. Yeah, yep, that happens, right? So, and the reason why, especially when you're new on a platform, you're probably more likely to get a lot of that initially, because when you're first starting to put yourself out there, there may be a concern. Are people going to like me? Are people going to be okay with this? And so that will naturally kind of gravitate to you, your first few trolls, okay? So when they come, use them as an opportunity to practice. Oh, and so I want to give a quick suggestion for this, which I meant to do earlier. So let's go ahead and do it because Banji just brought this up. If you guys are dealing with criticism, particularly online, it's very helpful always to be reframing what's going on. So you see it in a positive light rather than a negative light. One of the best ways to deal with online criticism is to realize that if somebody is commenting on your post or your video in a negative way, it probably means that they admire you on a subconscious level, whether or not it sounds that way. Now, this is because usually if somebody's looking at you and criticizing you, it's because your being, your essence, what you are doing is somehow rubbing up against a limitation of theirs. Maybe they wanted to make it pro and they didn't. Or they would love to be able to have an Instagram profile, but they're too scared to do it. And so when they see you succeeding, that kind of rubs up against the limitation. So it looks like a criticism on the surface, but in reality, the people who are being critical to you actually probably have the most admiration for you subconsciously. So when you look at it that way, that's how you can kind of transmute the energy. Hope that's helpful. I see we've got a super here. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Higher self. Thank you for the super. Appreciate you. Higher self asks, hi, I have 5 children. 3 go to school. 2 come with me to our dealership. Every day, my 23-month-old son in the car will be content, and then at random start screaming and crying. Any suggestions? Okay, it can help to kind of look at it maybe almost in a funny way. Make a joke out of it. That's what I might do for this. And I'm saying this for whatever reason, this is reminding me of my daughter. When she was little, when we would take her to the grocery store, or when I would take her to the grocery store chain that we have down here that I always go to is called Publix in Florida in the Southeast. So we take her to Publix, and I would put her in the cart, or I would have her like in the little baby sack thing, and she'd be shrieking. She'd just start shrieking. And initially, I cared. Okay. Again, today's topic is all about caring doesn't matter. Caring is a waste of time, right? Initially, I cared. Okay. So I cared what the other people in the store would think, or I cared if people were getting upset if she was screaming, or I cared that her voice was obnoxious. Okay. With her, this was before I even knew about the law of attraction, but for some reason with her, there was something about her shriek to me that was kind of funny. So I almost kind of turned it into a game. There she goes. She's the screaming Mimi, or she's, that's the loud one. And it would be just kind of a joke. And so if you can kind of make a joke out of it, what will happen is that if the child screams, you're going to think it's kind of funny and kind of laugh at it. And you're not going to attract so much of it to you because you're not resistant to it. The big thing is you don't want to push against it. You don't need the child to be quiet. All right. The less we need people to change, the more they're going to do what we want them to do. Okay. Good question. Good question. And guys, it's coming up in 1 week. My new program is going live. Just heads up. So in 1 week from today, my new course is going live. This is the one I've been talking about on the lives the last few weeks or month or so about manifesting a passionate career. Now, the reason why I've been making this program is because of the lives. So I got inspiration from you guys because I got so many questions from people about career-related issues. A lot of people talking about being stuck in jobs with horrible bosses or toxic coworkers. I got lots of questions from people who were looking to find their passion, like they didn't know what to do. Like, I want to make a career change, but I don't know what I'd be good at. I don't know what I'd be passionate at. I also got some questions from people who have had successful careers, but they feel burnt out by them, or they feel like they're just hustling for a paycheck, or they feel like they're tied to it because of the money, but it's not something they actually want to do. Well, you can manifest a career that is both passionate and makes money. You can manifest a career that does those things and is also a career that you can work at your own pace, where you have freedom and independence. Doesn't have to be law of attraction teacher. This can be done in any different type of job or career. And so I wanted to make this course to outline how to do this. So if you have questions like these about career, if you've been wanting something better to do for career or for work, Definitely check out the link that I have posted on YouTube. It's also on Facebook. Instagram, the link is in my link tree in my bio. But if you click on that link, you'll be taken to a page where you can sign up for notifications, because next week I'll be sending out a coupon code when the course launches for 50% off. So if you want all the details on that program when it goes live, as well as the opportunity to get it for half off for a very short period of time, make sure to go ahead and sign up for those notifications now, okay? Because this might be the last time I remind you to do so. Okay, so make sure to do that. But let's get back to it. Again, today, guys, we're talking about caring is a waste of your time. And the reason, again, that I'm making this video is that most of you, if you understand about the law of attraction, most of you already kind of know that you need to let go and not care and be unbothered about your manifestation in order to get it to come. Most people get that. The problem is, though, is that people don't just care about their manifestations, okay? People care about all kinds of stuff. And so when somebody comes into the law of attraction and they want to detach from an outcome, it's so foreign to them because they've been busy caring about everything for most of their life. Why? Because that's something lots of people are doing. And so it's very normal to care about things like people's opinions, getting things done, how did an outcome work out for you? What are the problems in the world? What's going on in the world? All of these things we care about, but caring is universally a waste of time, universally, not just when you want to manifest something. And it's going to be much easier for you to let go and manifest the things that you want when you step away from the belief structure that caring is somehow helpful, because it never, ever is. So we're proving that today in today's video. Now, the first one we talked about was other people's opinions. And when you care about other people's opinions, you actually attract negative opinions, more criticism to you. So it's a waste of time, okay? The next one, caring about needing things to go your way. Oh, okay. Needing things to go your way. Now, this one actually becomes exaggerated sometimes when people learn about the law of attraction. So a lot of times people will have things that they want to manifest. Maybe it's money or a boyfriend or a new job or a new house or whatever. There's something that they want, but then they need it to happen a specific way. Okay? So let's say that I want to manifest $20,000, but I need for it to come through sales in my business, or I need for it to come through a lottery win, or I need it to come through a promotion. Okay? Now, the second we start to need things to go our way, we collapse down infinite potential into one route. Okay? I'm not okay with getting that $20,000 however it wants to show up. No, I only want to accept it this way. Okay? So caring is actually a lack mindset. Can you see that? If I'm okay with receiving $20,000 any which way, I have an abundant mindset. It can come this way, this way, this way, this way. If it doesn't come this way, no big deal. It could come this way, this way, this. That's an abundant mindset. Okay? But when you need it to happen one particular way, you care, and that's a lack mindset. And because when you need your manifestation to happen a specific way, and you have a lack mindset while you are wanting it to come or needing it to come, it doesn't come. Why? Because caring is a lack mindset. Okay? So, needing things to go your way. And I don't mean like just getting a manifestation. I mean like needing your kids to behave, needing your husband to take out the trash, needing the traffic to part. Any of these little mundane things, people care about all of them, and they meet resistance. This is why if you need your kids to get a good grade, they're going to come home with not so good grades. If you need your kid to behave, they're probably not going to behave. If you need your child to stop screaming in the back seat of the car, they're going to keep screaming. Okay? So needing things to go your way is another form of caring. Waste of time. Waste of time. And so for this one, the best illustration I have for this one that's made the broadest impact for me is the relationship with my husband. So there's many ways that this has shown itself, but when I got married, I can be a stubborn person, and so is my husband, all right? So I had to kind of work this one out because I would get it in my mind that I needed him to do something. I need him to take out the trash. I need him to clean up XYZ. I need him to okay? Now, as a spouse, and maybe some of you have had this experience with your spouse, this can lead to massive arguments, and it can also lead to the spouse just not doing what you want them to do out of spite. Why? Because again, caring is resistance. When you care if they take out the trash, you're being resistant. You're worried about it. You're stressed about it. So they will actively not take out the trash just because they're responding to your resistance. So learning how to work through this has been magical in my marriage. And so if you are married, or if you have roommates, or you have a coworker, or you have someone who needs to do what you would like for them to do, this is one of those things you need to work out, is that you don't need them to do anything. You want to adopt the attitude with people that whether you do it or not, it's all good. I'd like you to help me with this. Could you help me with this? Help me at your leisure. Help me at your own time, rather than I need you to do this now. Okay? So I have a little text message exchange I'm going to share with you guys, and I didn't tell my husband about it, but he'll be all right. It's very short. But I asked him to do something yesterday, and it's a stark opposition from how things used to work. And so I want to show you the text message so you can kind of see how I do this, all right? Because in the past, I would have just barked orders, but I don't do it that way anymore. So here's the text message, okay? So I say to my husband, hey, babe, hope your morning is good. I just realized I'm on my last pair of contacts. When you have time, could you order me some more? Thank you, with a heart. Okay, notice that just 1 minute later, yes, will do, with an exclamation mark, with enthusiasm. Send me a pic of the box. Now, I wanted to show this to you guys because this is a rather arbitrary request, all right? It's something I could probably do myself. He happens to usually do it, so I just asked him to do it. I didn't really need him to do it. Can you do it when you have time? Not do it right now. And being polite, like I don't even care if you do it, it gets done right away. So this is something that you want to consider when you issue requests to people. Okay, rather than needing people to do things or trying to force them to do it through caring, you want to kind of ask politely, obviously, but what's more important is that inside here, doesn't really matter to me if he does it or not. If he doesn't do it, I'll get him myself. Do it at your leisure, do it at your own time. And by the way, that one right there, this thing right here where it says, when you have time, I would say is probably one of the biggest hacks of all, okay? When you say something to someone like, take your time, or when you have time, that's a very non-resistant way to issue a request. When you have time, could you check the mailbox? If you have time, could you do such and such? Oh, you're going to do that for me? Oh, take your time. Take your time. Okay? Take your time implies I don't need you to do it now. And when you do that and you mean it, people will hop to and get on it quick. Like I said, I wanted to show this to you because look, it's 1 minute later. He responds, he's going to do it. I didn't get left on red, okay? So I wanted to show you guys that needing things to go your way slows down the works. When you don't need things to go your way, people hop to right away. Things hop to right away. Manifestations show up right away. Okay, so that's our next one. Very important point. All right, moving right along. If you guys haven't yet, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to me. Of course, I got to mention that. I am on YouTube, so you can subscribe to me on YouTube. Make sure to follow the notifications so you're notified when I go live. I love talking to you guys on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So you can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook as well. And I do go live usually twice a week, so make sure to join me. I love seeing you guys. And in addition to that, If you haven't yet, please make sure to take my manifesting test. A lot of you guys have taken it already, but if you haven't yet, it's a really great test to prove to yourself that you are the creator of your own reality so that you can put something out and watch it come back. You don't just have to listen to me and believe what I say, but actually put it to the test and see if it works out for you. You can take that test at manifestingtest.com. Again, that's manifestingtest.com. The direct links can be found in the description of these videos or in the link tree on my bio on Instagram. Okay, let's take a look at some of these questions we got coming up. I still got another super here. Britt, thank you for the super, Britt. Appreciate you. Britt says, I've been manifesting surprise checks and money coming in. I want to be more neutral when surprise expenses come up. Ooh. Well, let's try it. Let's do even better than that. Let's get excited when they show up. Okay. Neutral is good. Okay. So I see what you're asking for here is that, when I get an unexpected bill in the mail, my automatic response is to care and to get stressed, right? Most people have that experience. If there's suddenly an unexpected expense, it stresses me out. And so I'm recognizing that my vibration is lower and I'm probably not going to get as good of a result in that moment because I'm stressing out. So it's a great question. Okay. Neutral is better. It would be better if when the expense came in, you didn't really care, right? What's best is if you have a positive mindset about expenses. Okay. Because when an expense comes, anything that happens, okay, this is what's important to understand. Anything that happens in your reality can have a positive outcome. There's a belief structure that's predominant, which is that there's a right way and a wrong way. And so if I happen to take the wrong step, or if I happen to get the wrong feedback, that means that life is going in a bad direction. But that's not true. We live in an infinite universe with infinite opportunity. So no matter what happens, you can get a phenomenal result. So when you understand this concept, the things that you feel the most squirrely about are the things that you want to work on creating positive definitions for so that when they happen, you get in alignment with a positive result. So the one that I use for surprise expenses is, oh, great, an opportunity for me to practice my abundant mindset of letting go and knowing it's going to come back to me tenfold or knowing it's going to come back more. Okay? Because somebody who can let go of money easily is somebody who has an abundant mindset. So when the universe comes up to you and says, all right, you owe us $1,000, there's two major ways you can respond. One is by, I don't want to spend it, and I'm going to practice my lack mentality and slow the funnel of money. Or, you know what? Great opportunity to let it go and be abundant. So this is a bigger than usual opportunity for me to practice my abundance. And if I can feel comfortable and happy about letting go of this amount, that means I'm going to be a magnet for even larger amounts. Because here's the thing. The bigger the amount that you can let go of with ease, the higher your abundance mindset. For some people, it's only like $5 that they can let go of easily. Okay. Some people can let go of $10,000 easily. Some people can let go of $50,000 easily. You want to be the kind of person who can let go of larger amounts easily. So that's the way I want you to think about it when it comes up. So let's go for beyond neutral. Let's go for happy for the opportunity. You'll get better results with that. Good question. Angel asks, hi, Andrea and family. Question, is the general idea that detachment from your desires is good? Desires are okay as long as you're not too detached to them. Desires are good. Detachment is good. It's not one or the other, okay? You're always going to have a desire because you're an infinite being, meaning unlimited. So wherever you are in the universe, you're going to be looking for more. So that's part of the process. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the way that you're built. You're always going to have desires. That's what expands the universe. That's what expands your reality. It's a very good thing that you have desires. You want to, at the same time, have the abundant mindset, okay? Which is that this could happen any which way. And if it doesn't happen this way, it could happen this way. And by the way, I got an infinite number of other desires that I can be thinking about. So I don't need to be too tied up in this one over here. Okay, that's the big thing. So yes, detachment from your desire is good, because when you're detached, you don't care. You don't need it to happen. And when you don't need it to happen, you're not resisting it coming. That's the thing. But a lot of times people think it's one or the other. Do I either have a desire or do I detach? It's not one or the other. It's both. But don't try to do them at the same time. Ask for what you want, go do something else. Think about what you want, go do something else. You do not need to stay tethered to that thing that you want, trying to make it happen, trying to vision it into place, or, affirm it into place. When we start doing that, we become attached. Good question. And Dominique says, so true. As soon as I started caring less about others' opinions and focused on myself and those closest to me, life became way easier. It really does. Really does. It can take people some time to work through it, but I think the most helpful thing to understand about letting go of opinions is just noticing that the more I care, the worse the opinions get. So it really is a waste of my time to care what they think, unless I'd like some more bad opinions. Okay. Once you realize that that's what's creating them in the first place, it's much easier to just not care so much. Very good. And again, today's topic is caring is a waste of time. And I'm making today's video because you really have to understand that caring as a whole is a waste of time. That doesn't mean that you don't want things for your life. It doesn't mean you don't have desires. Doesn't mean you don't have preferences. Those are going to be kind of a constant. You're always going to have desires and preferences, okay? But not needing any of it to work is the trick. Okay, that's the trick. That's the recipe. The minute we care about anything, we gum up the works. We create resistance on our path. We get out of the flow and we start creating the exact opposite from what we're caring to create. Okay, so the first thing we talked about was other people's opinions. The next one was needing things to go your way. Here's another one. Caring or needing people to understand you. So caring about being understood, caring about getting your point across, caring about maybe even being right. This is one that's another complete waste of time. And yet you guys can talk to people and you will see this over and over and over and over and over again. What a waste of time this is. Okay. Now let's say that you have something to say. Okay. I got something to say today that I'm saying. You may have something to say. You may know somebody that could benefit from something you know. Somebody could be asking you your opinion or your thoughts on something that you yourself are an expert at. Or somebody may just be looking for some general advice. But if you find yourself in a position with somebody where you're trying to communicate with them, but you need them to understand you, or you care that they understand you, what will invariably happen is you will see a block with that person. Okay? So let's just give an example to make this clear. I work out a lot. I go to the gym all the time. So I get people coming up and asking me questions about working out a lot. Okay? It happens. If somebody comes up to me and asks me a question about what do you do for your workouts, and I mention something, let's say I say deadlifts. Okay, I don't do deadlifts all the time, but I do deadlifts. So if I tell them I'm doing deadlifts and they're good because of this, this, and this, and they can help with this, this, and this, and I need that person to believe that the deadlifts are the way there, that person will have a problem with it. I can't do those because I'm too old. I can't do those because I have bad knees. I can't do those because I got bad back. Okay. Yeah, that's great, but it doesn't work for me. That's the response that I'll get back from people if I'm insistent on that information. But if instead I can just offer my advice, if you take it or not take it, you don't get the pushback. The person may listen to you, they may even agree with you. And even if they don't quite get it, what will often happen is down the road, they'll come back to you and say, you remember that conversation we had a long time ago when you were talking about deadlifts? I wasn't really sure about it, but I tried it and wow, that really made a difference. Thanks so much for telling me. That's what happens when you don't need someone to understand you. And I'm telling you this because, again, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about today is stuff that I personally had to work through. And this is another one that the kind of work I do, I have to not care if you guys get it. I'm being straight up with you. I'd like you to get it. I want you to get it. I want you to be benefited. I want you to gain from the things I understand very, very much. However, if you don't get it, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so this isn't another thing that you don't want to care about. You may want to help somebody with some information, or you may want to be understood, but the minute you need them to understand you or you need them to agree with you, you're going to attract to yourself resistance. The person will become blocked to you. They won't want to hear it. They're going to be like, la, 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 don't tell me that. Okay, it's another very important thing. So for this one, if you find yourself in a position where you want to communicate something to someone, whether it's information or advice, or you simply want to be understood, I want you to think about what you're telling them as a gift. It's a gift. And when you give a gift, you just give it and you let the person do with it what they want. So if I'm teaching you guys something today that to me has been very helpful, and I hand it over to you, it's like a gift. I'm handing you a gift. Whether you unwrap it and play with it is up to you. I'm not going to call you up tomorrow. Did you do what I said? Are you doing that thing I said about understanding people? I'm not going to do that. Do it or don't. You want to give it like a gift because, if someone gave you a gift and insisted you used it, you wouldn't want it, would you? Okay? You really only appreciate things when people give them to you freely. Okay, so that's another way to just not care. When you give your opinion, when you give your advice, give it and let the other person do with it whatever they want. Very, very helpful because caring about whether they do or not is a waste of your time. Okay? All right. What else we got going on in here? Palm Springs Jen, kind of responding to this last one about money. I try to view myself as a conduit for money. It flows in and out easily. I feel as though it's my job to let it go and more will always come. Oh, I like that. It's my job to let it go. That's how I use it properly. Yeah. I never thought of it that way. That's a really good idea. When you guys are spending money, it's my job to spend this. That's what it's here for. If I'm a good conduit for money, I'm going to do what you do with money and I'm going to just spend it easily. I like that. Rather than the opposite, because the opposite is what most people think. I'm supposed to hoard it. I'm not supposed to spend it. I'm bad for spending it. This shouldn't be coming out of my pocket. No, I should be spending it freely. That's good. Luis with the super. Thank you, Luis. Luis says, I also answer to my wife's request fast, obviously because I love my wife, but also because as a recovering procrastinator, I found out that especially easy tasks are better dealt with immediately. You get them out of the way. Happy wife, happy life. Well, that's a good point too. I actually talk about something similar to this idea. This is the same related idea. When you have things to do, just knock them out. Okay, because the more you, if you know she's going to keep nagging you, or you need to do it eventually, now you have that hanging over your head, and it creates kind of this latent stress, latent fear that you have to deal with. So and I do advocate for you guys that I don't want you doing everything, right? I am not at all of the opinion that you guys should be doing everything everybody tells you to do. But if there are things that that you either have to do or really want to do, knock them out of the way quickly, because then what happens is you don't extend that procrastination fear time, lowering your vibration, and also you get that jolt of accomplishment. Every time you accomplish something, it kind of boosts you up a little bit. So you want to look at these little tasks as, ooh, opportunity to level up my vibration. Let's knock it out now. Feel a little bit better. Good point. Good point. Adrian, help Andrea. Please tell me how to tap into the better version of my husband. How many people out there want that? Yep. Okay, so when you're married to somebody, especially, or you live with somebody for a long time, very easy to start seeing their flaws and their faults. Okay, so this is what happens. So when you first meet somebody and maybe you fall in love with them, they're brand new. All right, so you're just kind of seeing them, oh, the possibility, maybe we'll fall in love. And so your mind is really focused on things working out, right? But as you become familiar with somebody, that buzz of the news starts to die down. And because it's dying down, the mind can start to look for faults, okay? And so this happens very much across all different kinds of relationships, not just husband and wife varieties. But the longer you know somebody, there is a good chance that you're going to start to pick out their flaws. And then what happens? Because I'm noticing their flaws, I attract more, or the flaws get worse, or the flaws become more ingrained. And so you can take any relationship and make it kind of turn into something where you're seeing a version of that person you don't really want to see. So the real thing with this is to really be focusing on your husband's strengths. Okay. So, and you don't need to be doing this all the time. My best suggestion for you guys, if you're married, is really kind of first thing in the morning. I want you to sit there and think about everything you appreciate about your husband. Okay, what does he do? Does he work hard for the family? Does he make dinner sometimes? Is he nice to the kids? Does he wash your car? Think about all the things that you appreciate about your husband, okay? What you will notice, by the way, is that when you do this exercise, most likely the next time you see him, he's going to be very nice to you because a better version of him starts to pop up. Now, when he does something nice, he orders your contacts, whatever. Oh, thank you. And think again, oh, this is a nice version of my husband. Look at what he's doing. Reinforce what he's doing well. Then an even better version shows up. Okay, so you just want to play with that momentum. All right, so that's the big thing. The other thing is getting away from the idea that we need them to be somebody, we need them to change. That's not what we're trying to do. We're not forcing him to change. Rather, I'm going to appreciate the way he is exactly now, the things I like about him now, and then he will just blossom into a version that has even more nice things. So we're not trying to correct the faults here. That's the important thing. We're focusing on what we like, so what we like gets better. Good question. Cheryl Ann on Facebook, what advice do you have for not caring when someone is lying all the time and is hurting people? Okay. Does it matter? You're saying hurting people. So the reason I'm saying that, the word that you use is people, not hurting me, hurting people. That's people's problem. Okay. There's a strong desire a lot of people have to, we want to help everybody. Okay. And so if we see somebody showing up being a ne'er-do-well, hurting other people, we take it on as our responsibility to correct the situation. Not my job, not my responsibility. Why? My responsibility is this right here, okay? My responsibility is keep my vibration as high as possible. If this person wants to act like a fool, that's fine. If my vibration is high, they can't touch me because vibrationally we're too far apart. And me going in to save these people can save themselves. Okay, so I know these people are smart. I know that they've got what it takes. Here's the other thing too. We learn more about becoming better creators from difficult people more than anything else. You learn more about being a good creator from dealing with difficult people more than anything else. Okay, because when somebody's in your face being difficult, when you learn how to shift that energy, you never go back. Okay, so this person's helping me learn how to keep my nose in my own business. That's what they're doing. Okay, they're helping me. They're not hurting me. They're helping me level up. Okay, that's the big thing. We don't need to be a vigilante, social justice warrior for all of mankind. That actually doesn't work. And that's actually my next point, by the way. So let's jump into it. That's a perfect segue. Didn't even realize it. All right, so here's the next point. Piggybacking on Cheryl Ann's question here. Again, the topic is caring is a waste of time, okay? Always, for everything. It's not just when you have an intentional manifestation that you're putting out there. It's not just for the big stuff. It's for everything. And when we have a habit of caring for every little thing, it's very hard to let go of the big things because we're used to caring. So I'm showing you guys that in all these different scenarios, caring is an utter waste of time, so that hopefully you can start practicing this on all levels. And then when you have something big that you want, much easier to do. Okay? So the next one we talked about caring about other people's opinions, needing things to go your way, needing people to understand you. This is about caring for other people to get better or caring about other people's problems. Okay, so what Cheryl Ann asked here was about there's some jerk hurting people, okay, and I care about these people. I care about their problems. Okay, well, if I want good things for them, caring about that is a waste of time. Let's talk about why that is, okay? When you care about someone's problems, you keep them anchored in reality, because what you focus on, you attract more of. So if you're saying, I had a friend, let's just give you a quick example here. I have a friend. We didn't become ex-friends. She's still a good friend. I have a friend, and I don't know, a few months ago, we were driving somewhere, and she was talking about her daughter. Okay. And her daughter is just lovely. I love her daughter. She's one of my favorite teenage girls of all time. She's super, super cool. But I guess she was having some problems at school with some other girls online, or she was getting a little bit bullied, and mom was worrying about this. Okay. Very worried, very stressed. And in that conversation, I could tell she's really worried about these problems. Okay, let's try and lighten the mood. She didn't want to hear it. That's fine. But what ended up happening is that a small problem with the daughter got bigger and started getting bigger and started getting bigger. And it was interesting because she knows I teach the law of attraction. And just because I teach the law of attraction doesn't mean my friends always listen to me the first time I tell them something. Okay? That's okay. But it was interesting because we had the conversation. I kind of explained to her, she'll be okay. She can handle it. The more we worry about it, the worse it's going to get. So it's okay. It had to get a little bit worse before she kind of realized it. And then the next time we were in the car, we were talking about it again. And she's like, yeah, I started to let go. Things are starting to get better, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is what you want to understand, is that when you see a problem in somebody, like a friend or a parent or a group of people, I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody lambast or, you need to care about these poor people in this corner of the world, or these people in this war-torn country. I can love those people. I can have good hopes for them. I can want the best for them. But the second I start caring about them, I'm not helping them one bit. And I understand that. Okay? This is what we need to understand. I know that caring about people seems like the right thing to do. But remember, caring is resistance. So when you care about someone's problems, you're keeping those problems stuck in reality. Very important thing to understand. I seriously would recommend that when you see someone struggling with something, you want to immediately kind of put it at the forefront of your mind. They got this. They can handle this. They're going to figure that out, and they're going to feel like $1 million because they figured it out. They're going to feel like $1 million that they got out of that hole. I know they can do it. Look into your own life. Your biggest struggles, the things that were the biggest struggles for you so far in life, were probably your biggest triumph stories. Am I right? Do you not have some degree of pride from overcoming an illness or an injury or maybe abuse or a problem or an addiction, look back at the problems in your life that you've gone through. Aren't you proud that you went through them and that you had what it took to get to the other side? Why would you want to rob somebody of that? Okay? So this is the way you want to think about other people's problems. Okay? They've got it. The law of attraction isn't something that just I get and nobody else in reality get. Everybody gets it. They all have the opportunity to align with what they want. And the way they align with what they want is by feeling empowered. The minute I look at them and say, this poor person over here, now I'm pitying them. Do you think that looking at them in pity is going to make them feel empowered? No. But if I look at them and say, you got this, I know you got this, they're going to feel a little bit more like they can do it. And that's the attitude they need to transcend any of life's issues. Okay, so again, caring is a waste of time. Even caring about someone's problems. And this is the one that I think creates the most stress for people, because they believe that if you don't care about someone's problems, you don't love them or you're doing bad things for them. That's not the case. When you don't care about their problems and you see their problems as a non-issue, it ceases to be an issue for them. You actually solve the problem. Okay, so this is the grand irony. But it's a very important point to think about. And so if you're not sold on it, just notice that, the next time you kind of care about someone struggling, they just got worse and they just keep getting worse. The more you worry about it, the worse it gets. Very important thing. And then I had another friend, another quick note. I noticed this in myself again, because these things will keep kind of coming up. You'll keep working through them. But I had another friend, not the same friend, another friend recently had some bad luck, quote unquote, with some surgeries. So she had a surgery and the surgery failed. And then she had to get the surgery revised. And then that surgery failed. And she had to get it revised again. And it's kind of a scary situation. You can get the same body parts cut open over and over. Obviously, that one can create some worry, right? And so I could feel myself getting worried for her. When we got to the second revision, I'm like, okay, if she is in my reality and this is happening to her repeatedly, I'm aligning with that. I must care too much. And I looked back and I thought about it. I'm like, the first time she had that surgery, I was calling, is she done with the surgery? Is she out yet? Is she okay? As soon as she got out, got her flowers. Are you okay? Everything okay? And it was like is she all right? Then she had another one. I did the same thing. Calling her husband, is she out of surgery yet? When is she going to be there? And being concerned and being worried. So on the second revision, I'm like, okay, we're not doing that. She's going, didn't text, didn't call, nothing. Now she's doing fine. Because again, caring is a waste of time. I know it comes from a good place. I know it does. But it is not going to help the other person. Okay. Catherine, did you decide what car you're going to get? I haven't yet. Someone said Porsche Panamera. I got that one on the mind. I'm not 100% sold. Maybe that one. If you guys have suggestions, drop them in the chat. I got to get a new car soon. So if you guys have suggestions for a car, let me know. I'll let you know when I get it though. Mr. Alum, happy wife, happy life sounds one-sided to me. I prefer happy spouse, happy house. I like that. That's cute. Paula says, Andrea, I have to tell you what happened last night. We had a power outage and the neighbor called talking about Trump and the grids and so on. I told her it's okay. It will all be back on before you know it. Good. Yeah. That's the thing. We don't want to feed into it. The more we feed into it, the more we attract issues. And I told you something, that people are the thing that teach you the most about becoming a good creator. If people really hate Donald Trump, he's teaching a lot of people how to be good creators. Because if that bugs you and you're able to be like, whatever, you're really doing good. Okay. It's a learning opportunity. Okay, here we go again on Instagram. Let's see if Andrea can sound it out, if you guys remember this. Ho'oponopono. Did I get it? Hi, Andrea. I want a certain thing to leave out of my life. I keep thinking about it a lot. I know that's not helpful. Any tips? Yes. Switch it up. Instead of needing it to leave, think about right reasons why it would be okay if it stayed. That's the big thing. Because right now we care about it working out. We care about them leaving, so I need them to leave. Okay, well, how about we, in our mind, why would it be okay if they stayed? What lesson might I learn? Why might this work out? Okay, that's kind of the thing you want to be going down the line with your thinking. Okay, so I'll give you a roundabout example because it's on the brain because we were talking about this earlier. My kids with their grades, okay? Like if my son brings home a bad grade and I really need him to have a good grade. Well, why is it okay if he gets a bad grade? Why is it okay if he gets bad grades in all of his classes? What would he be learning? Maybe he's going to learn a valuable lesson about turning his work in on time. He's in 8th grade, so you know what? The more bad grades he gets now, the more he's going to learn what he needs to do when he gets to high school. You know what? It's a good thing if my kid knocks down a few times here or there because they need to learn how to pick themselves up. They need to learn how to manage their own time. So just like if a baby was learning to walk, it's okay if he gets bad grades. Now I'm saying it's okay for the unwanted outcome. I'm not pushing against the unwanted outcome. I've become non-resistant. I don't care anymore. And now because I don't care anymore, I'm detached. And when you're detached, you get what you want. By the way, that's why that works. Okay? A lot of times when I tell people, make the other thing okay, what they'll say to me is, Andrea, doesn't that mean I'm going to attract more of the other thing? No. Because when you do that, you neutralize yourself and you become detached. When you're detached, you're in the flow. When you're in the flow, you have a higher vibration. When you're in a higher vibration, you align with your preferences. Because like I said earlier, it's okay to have desires. It's okay to have wants. It's okay to have preferences. In fact, you always will have those things. Okay? But in order to get those things, you have to be in a state of detachment. Okay? Hope that makes sense. R. Mary Patrick. Hi, Andrea. Sometimes I get hung up caring about how I receive because I would not want to receive abundance at the detriment of others, particularly those I love. Ha! Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's a way it could come badly. Maybe it's coming from them. Maybe it's making life worse for them. Maybe it's making it better for them. I don't know what the exact issue is here. Okay. But let's say that a family member gave you $1,000. Okay. And you're thankful for it. You're in the back of your mind. You're like, this is hurting them. Okay. If they gave it to you in clear conscience and you needed it and you used it, okay, I manifested $1,000. And they were able to let go of it. What did I say earlier about letting go of money? Someone who can let go of something is more abundant in that source. So if that family member was able to let go of $1,000 easily, that actually benefited their abundance. This is the hang up people have. Sometimes I hear this about sales. Like if people are in business or in sales, they got hang ups about this. I want to make money through my business, but I feel bad taking people's money. Like they're somehow getting shortchanged or, it's a bad thing that they have to spend it. That's the limited way of thinking. They can afford it. They just let go of it. It was easy for them to let go of it. And not only that, they let go of it easily and they got my product or service. So really, they doubled their abundance. That's the way you got to think about it. Excellent question. Again, we care about people, got to care less. The less we care, the better they're going to do. Yeah, speaking business, again, guys, new program goes live 1 week from today. It's called The Golden Path. I've been talking about it the last week or so. So this is possibly the last reminder that if you want to get the notifications and the 50% off coupon code, make sure to sign up for it now. Okay, so this course is going to be going live in a week, and for a very limited time, you'll be able to get it for 50% off if you have the coupon code. And so this program I've been working on because of these lives. Lots of you guys have been writing in with questions related to work, either being stuck in toxic work environments, not making as much money as you'd like to make, feeling maybe like you're not fulfilled by what you do, or maybe you even like what you do, but it's not making that much money, maybe feeling overworked, maybe feeling like you make a lot of money, but you hate the job. Well, there are solutions to these problems. It is perfectly possible for you to attract a career and a life's work doing something you love doing, that you're passionate about, and that you make a lot of money doing, where you have freedom and flexibility to work the way that you want to work, where you get respect for the things that you do, and where you even feel kind of like a superstar at what you do. And so if you're interested in that program, please make sure to sign up for the notifications now, because I'll be sending out that coupon code in a week. And I usually tell you guys when I go live next, I might be here on Sunday, but I might not. So this might be the last chance to get this coupon code. So if you're interested, check that out. Also, if you have not yet, please make sure to sign up for that manifesting test and take it if you want to prove to yourself that you are the creator of your own reality. Again, this is a quick test where you can put something out and watch it come back, and you can take it at manifestingtest.com. But like I just mentioned, I will be back hopefully on Sunday, but I have some stuff I may have to do, so I'm not 100%. If I'm not here on Sunday, I'll be back next Thursday. But that is going to do it for today's live. Thanks so much for coming along with me this time. I appreciate seeing you guys. And of course, I look